Welcome to Dodgers Dogs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. So glad that you decided to tune in. Casey Porter here, joined by Austin Brubaker, as I am each and every time he is kind enough to join. Hey, Austin, the Dodgers, they just keep on rolling. They did again last night.
Yeah, they sure did. They were able to hit a couple of home runs last night in a really exciting game, which Walker Buehler made his return to Dodger Stadium. There's a lot of exciting actions, a lot of exciting developments that are in and around the Dodgers. They're just rolling right now. They're winning games that they should be winning. They're winning. They swept the Braves. There's a lot of fun stuff that is happening within the world of Dodger baseball.
100%. They're now 24-13. I'm going to turn to my left to make sure I get all these numbers correct because it is so good. I want you to hear all the good news on the Dodgers front. 24-13 overall. 5.5 games ahead of the Padres, 8 ahead of the D-backs. Check this out, Austin. You remember whenever they were struggling a little bit, they had the series with the Mets and all those where they weren't winning as many games as Dodgers fans wanted. How about since that last game of that Mets series, which was a 10-0 victory, the Dodgers lead all of baseball in ERA at 177. They lead all of baseball in runs scored with 203. They lead all of baseball in walk percentage, based on ball percentage at 10.9, at batting average at balls in play at 318, at batting average overall at 273, at on-base percentage of 356, at slugging percentage at 456, and they're 15 points better during that period than the next best team in WRC Plus with a 134 team, WRC Plus as a team, and they're almost 4 points higher in WAR during that time at 11.8 to the closest team, and are second in home runs with 51 during that time, and they have a 200 ISO, which means you can have upwards to a 20% strikeout rate, maybe even a little bit above that, and you still have a positive power to strikeout ratio. How about that for that stretch? There's no other roster in baseball that could do that.
Yeah, this roster is absolutely phenomenal. And this run that they're going on recently is just reaching at the potential that this Dodgers team has. This is why we've been so excited and fans have been so excited about this Dodgers team, because the talent level absolutely is there. There's star power up and down this roster. And even in a state where the Dodgers are right now, when they're not completely healthy, they're still able to produce. The next guy is still able to come up and step up. The youth that is coming up from this farm system is able to step up, as well as the guys that they brought in that are, you could say, journeyman type guys that have stepped up in great roles. This Dodgers team is firing at all cylinders. Their offense is explosive. It's dynamic. It's powerful. You do not want to face this Dodgers lineup if you are an opposing team. And their pitching staff has really stepped up, which has made this team so dominant and an absolute force within the National League to this point. And I think this role that they've been on, I think it's just going to keep on going because the talent level suggests that it will.
So the last 12 runs have been scored via the home run. So you might ask, is it, and they didn't score after the third inning last night. So, hey, are you in one of those periods, although it looks great because you are hitting home runs, are you relying on the home run too much? Well, how about since that series, I wanted to go through all those numbers so you could see they are walking. The batting average is high. The batting average on balls in play are high. So, yeah, when they're hitting home runs, it's actually just making the offense that much more better. But it has consistently in this streak, they've done everything offensively great. It hasn't just been the home runs. Of course, you got the back-to-back home runs last night, Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman. It's just amazing how a guy like Shohei Ohtani, you can throw him all these great pitchers' pitches, and he just fouls them off. He doesn't swing at the ones that he can't hit. And then he just keeps fouling pitches off. He keeps just fighting until you eventually make a mistake. And then once you make a mistake, kapow, there you go. I mean, Shohei Ohtani is amazing.
Oh, Shohei Ohtani is exactly the type of player that the Dodgers paid for, and exactly the type of player that fans across Major League Baseball have been raving about for so long. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's powerful with the bat, as we've seen with his home runs that he's hit recently. He is dynamic on the base paths as well. There's just about nothing that Shohei Ohtani can't do. And he's going out there and performing, putting up MVP type numbers from the designated hitter position to this point of the season. This is exactly what the Dodgers needed in this offense, and he's fitting in right exactly to where the Dodgers need him. It's so cool to watch.
100%. And then also Freddie Freeman on the back-to-back home run. So you had Shohei Ohtani, who just kept staying alive until eventually the pitcher made a mistake. And most of Major League hitting is hitting mistakes, which is exactly what the Dodgers did last night. James Outman hit a little slider-type pitch that went right into his barrel, down and in. It was pretty much center cut. I mean, so you hit mistakes, right? So you, like Andy Pages has done lately, you just keep fighting off the pitcher's pitches till you find that mistake. But with Freddie Freeman, hey, he got that sinker that was shooting away from him. And here's another thing. 2 home runs back-to-back. One went opposite field gap. One went dead center. That's the type of hitters these guys are. Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, I say it all the time. They were just trying to be great hitters in that moment. They were trying to go with the pitch, hit the ball where the pitch was at, and they happened to hit a home run because they are that talented.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. They're great hitters first, and the power will follow along with them. And with Shohei Ohtani, absolutely the power is going to follow along. I think we kind of underrate how great of a power hitter Freddie Freeman is as well. 2 guys at the top of the order that are able to hit mistakes, that are able to drive the ball center field, left center, be able to do the correct baseball things and let the results follow. And especially when the pitchers are giving them some mistakes, they can really hammer on those. And that's what happened last night, not just with Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman, but also we saw that. And it was great to see James Outman get a home run, kind of break the slump a little bit as far as the homerless streak that he was on, with some of the, just with him being able to get one and hit it pretty deep too. That was great to see for James Outman. Hopefully that is an indication and a sign of things to come. We know just how talented James Outman is, and if he can get golden, that's just going to add so much more to this offense.
Yeah, and it was right after a quality at bat by Gavin Lux. He walked after a 7-pitch at bat. So if Gavin Lux and James Outman can do what they did last night, which is generate 2 runs, the game was tied 3-3 at the time. Generate 2 runs and give your team the lead when you know the top of your lineup is going to do what they've been doing, plus Will Smith, Max Muncy. Tio Hernandez has done exactly what the Dodgers pay him to do, which is hit home runs, drive in runs, right? So whenever the bottom of your lineup, James Outman can hit a home run after Gavin Lux, and I say Gavin Lux, people are saying, hey, the exit velos, the slug, all that, fine. All I want out of Gavin Lux is quality at bats. And when I say quality at bats, any at bat that ends up in a hit, any at bat that you end up on base, any at bat that's 7 pitches or more, or obviously exit velos above 95. That's a quality at bat. All I want out of Gavin Lux is quality at bats, and so it's good to see him put a quality at bat down. James Outman, give the Dodgers the lead. Again, if they can do that, this offense goes into a dimension that nobody can touch.
Yeah, this offense gets even that much more better, and you read off the statistics at the top of the show. Those can even more improve at the bottom of the lineup, gets even that much more hot, which for the rest of the league, that's got to be terrifying, because this Dodgers team can reach another dimension to where they're at right now. And that is that puts your team into a position to where they can do anything on the baseball field, and now with that series that they had against Atlanta, where now they have the confidence that they can feel like they can do anything. Now they have that they can do that much more if you're the Dodgers.
And it also goes to show that you have the leeway to give whoever it is you want the run time to get everything figured out, to have it all ready to go for the postseason, because the Dodgers, I think, are going to run away with the NL West. I don't think there's any doubt about it, because they're not even on full cylinder as far as health and all that. You mentioned that a minute ago. Okay, the return of Walker Buehler, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs, 4 strikeouts, no walks. What you saw out of him, exactly what we said you were going to see. You're going to see a velo bump because he was in a major league setting. How about bumping that thing up to 96? That was just about exactly where we thought he would bump up to. Then you also saw good control. Hey, he didn't walk anybody, right? Control means getting the ball in the strike zone, but not always good command, meaning he's not hitting his spots within the strike zone and throwing the ball to safety. So you saw the 6 hits, you saw the home runs, because while he was throwing strikes, he wasn't necessarily throwing the pitches to spots of safety within the strike zone. So the control was good, The command wasn't always good. The velo was good. When you throw it all in the oven and you see how it baked, last night was a total success for Walker Buehler. I don't care what anybody says. Total success for him, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, he got through the 4 innings. His stuff looked good. You saw that bump in velo because of the adrenaline that he has, because of the excitement that he is back pitching in the Major League Baseball, back in Dodger Stadium. That's got to feel so good if you're Walker Buehler, working for so long, so hard. This stuff looked pretty good. I think much focused on the results, or not the results, I should say, rather the stuff as opposed to the results. And I think the stuff looked pretty good last night, and I think the results will follow for Walker Buehler, and I think he's going to get even that much more better as he learns coming back to Major League Baseball, what the changes that he has to make to adapt this time around to Major League hitters.
I thought the Marlins were a great landing spot for him because, hey, they're not very good, but also at the same time, they reminded you that they have Major League players on their roster, right? And every single Major League team has Major League players, and all Major League players are elite at the game of baseball. I thought that roster in that game last night reminded everybody of that too, right?
Oh, yeah. No, every single team has players that can go out there and hit, or players that can go out there and throw some nasty stuff. It doesn't matter which team that you're going to go up against. And we saw a little bit of that yesterday. Obviously, Walker Buehler did give up some extra base hits, did give up some hard contact. Yet, I think this is a good opportunity for him because I think the Dodgers match up incredibly well with the Marlins. We've seen a lot of the struggles that the Marlins has had throughout the course of this season so far. I think the Dodgers are that much better, and so I think it was a good spot for Walker Buehler to be reintroduced in the Major League club. And I think he's going to build a little bit of confidence and looking at some of the good, looking at some of the bad, and adapting to that. And I think Walker Buehler is one of the best people at adapting to whatever is given in front of him. So I think this is a good spot for him. And I expect so much more going forward out of Walker Buehler. I think it's going to be really exciting for the Dodgers.
So we talk about the Dodgers create a quasi six-man rotation for the different ways they do it. We also mentioned that the bullpen game was inevitable. It wasn't the full-blown bullpen game last night. Last night was what the Dodgers call the piggyback game. Austin, you and I get to see those piggyback games all the time. Kyle Hurt does it all the time. Lyle Lockhart Jr. used to do it a lot. The Dodgers use bulk inning, two different, and what a piggyback is you have a starter that gives you 3 or 4 innings, kind of some bulk innings. Then you have another guy that also gives you bulk innings. That second guy is called the piggyback guy. So call it a bullpen game, call it a piggyback game, call it whatever you want. Whenever you have those types of games, it's always Ryan Yarbrough who's in the middle of that. That is literally the value that he gives this roster, and he was the piggyback guy last night with the 3 innings and did a good job. So I thought that was really fun to watch too.
Oh, yeah. No, this is something that the Dodgers utilize up and down their farm system. If you pay attention to it, you'll see a lot of different piggyback or quasi-starters within this system, which guys that can provide length.
Attention to detail, Blake Treinen, he was 93, 94 last night. So he's building back up. That velo will continue to build. But the thing about him, he's thrown on back-to-back games. Now, here's the attention to detail for the Dodgers. If you look at his last 2 sets of games in Oklahoma City, I believe it was the beginning of May, like May 1st and May 2nd, he went on back-to-back days. And then the next time he came out, he went on back-to-back days again. So this is the 3rd time in a row that Blake Treinen has gone on back-to-back days, twice in Oklahoma City, once in L.A., so they saw how it would work in Oklahoma City. Once they realized he was recovering, then they did it in L.A. too. That's the type of stuff they do in terms of the coordination for these guys over and over and over, and they never miss a detail.
Yeah, no, that attention to detail is so incredibly important. You want to put these guys in a situation where they're comfortable, where they're ready to succeed, and you want to see if they are ready to make that step. And they decided to do that at the Oklahoma City level, the baseball club, when he was down there. And now that he's back in LA and he's pitching phenomenal for the Dodgers, they put him in a situation that he is comfortable with, that the Dodgers tested, made sure that he was ready for. That is something also that one of the reasons why it took so long for Walker Buehler to come back is because they wanted to make sure Walker Buehler was ready. Walker Buehler got the necessary innings, and the attention to detail that this organization puts into everything is remarkable, and why they've been so successful over the past decade plus.
100%. Alex Vesia has been very successful too. Going to look to my left again, make sure and get his numbers right. How about 10 outings in a row that he's been scoreless this year? That's on the heels of being one of the best relievers, not just left-handed relievers, one of the best relievers overall in the game from July of last year on. So now 10 outings in a row scoreless this year for Alex Vesia. ERA is 156. The whip is 115 because the walks have been a little bit high up there. So, hey, I'm not going to say it's always like clean and you're always like, oh, man, Alex Vesia's out there. Great. There's going to be – it seems like it's always stressful when he is out there because he does walk some guys, but he gets out of it because he has 20 strikeouts in 17 and a third innings. So, hey, Alex Vesia, yes, he does walk a few guys. Yes, it is stressful sometimes when he's out there. But, yes, he has been, I'm going to say it, an elite pitcher since last July.
Yeah, no, he has. I think a lot of times, especially when we're talking about Alex Vesia, we talk a little bit about the downs that he goes into, focus a little bit about the walks or some past situations where he hasn't performed. And I think Alex Vesia deserves a lot of credit for the performance that he has had throughout the course of the season. I get it. The walks are still there, and some of the expected numbers, some of the FIP and NEXT, because of the walks that he has had, are a little bit inflated from what the ERA is, and he'll have to work on that. But the results have been there for Alex Vesia. Mm-hmm. He deserves absolute credit for that, and the results have been there for a little while to see, dating back to even towards the end of last year and the start of this season. This is one of the reasons why the Dodgers have kept Alex Vesia around, and especially because they don't have a ton of left-handed relievers, having Alex Vesia step up and be a good force within this Dodgers bullpen and be a guy that has been reliable to the point in this season has been so good for the Dodgers.
Certainly has. Hey, man, you ready to take a trip down on the farm?
Absolutely.
All right, as we start our down on the farm section, here you see on your screen a young right-handed pitcher out of the University of Utah. His name is Cam Day. And what I want you to notice about him, look at that right turn. That one wasn't exactly as much. Look at that left turn and then the sink to his pitches. This guy, like right there, see that left turn that kind of hops back, or the right turn, I should say, to his sinker that hops back over the plate. Very impressive, Cam Day. That one right there, that is an impressive pitch where he can center cut that fastball, and look at that, and then just make it turn right and really get a lot of movement. Now, yesterday, he was mostly a slider and two-seam. You've seen the two-seam turn right there. See that? That is a wicked, wicked pitch. And the cutter that turns left, but that's not his entire arsenal. He has a sinker, a four-seam, a cutter, slider, change, and curveball. He's touched as high as 99 with that kind of movement, usually sits about 94, 96. So this is another guy with big stuff in the system that is just trying to get his feet underneath him. Look at that slider right there. Cam Day.
Oh, yeah. No, that stuff, that movement is absolutely phenomenal on his stuff. And you mentioned the velocity that he has on that, reaching upward up to 99, sitting more 94 to 96 with the movement that he's able to generate with his pitches. That just creates a certain and extreme level of excitement. And with his performance that he had on Sunday, pitching 2 innings, striking out a couple of batters, and then only giving up the 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs. There's a ton of excitement with Cam Day as he continues to progress in the system.
Yeah, when I heard the name, I was like, oh, is that the dude that was the quarterback for Utah? And I had to look at him. That was Cam Rising. So different guy, but still very, very, very talented. Hey, welcome back, Robinson Ortiz. The thing that I really like about him, he's kind of on that Carlos Duran track in the sense that they were both real big prospects like back in 2021, and both have not been able to stay healthy since. Now watch him. This is a right-hander, but I've actually done a feature on him. Okay, so watch where this ball comes out. When this ball comes out, it's like behind a left-hander. Look out, see how far out that ball got. Let me back that up, and I'm actually going to point to you. That ball is right here, okay? That's almost on the outside part of the left-handed batter's box. Now, I put my cursor right there. Now watch where this ball starts out when it comes out. See that? I mean, that is like really, really, that's going to be a guy that's going to be really hard on lefties. Robinson Ortiz, He's finally healthy. I actually messaged him the other day and said, hey, welcome back. He said, hey, thank you, my brother. I'm super excited to be back. So Robinson Ortiz, very kind of Christian Suarez is like, but this is a guy with big stuff that is now healthy, and now he's working his way back up. I know you got a chance to see him like 2 or 3 years ago at Great Lakes when he was on his first trek with the Dodgers before he got hurt.
Yeah, it's been a long journey for Robinson Ortiz. He's been in the system for quite a while, very much highly thought of in this system. And Robinson Ortiz, it's so good to see him back just healthy again and back pitching now with Rancho Cucamonga as he continues his track, as he continues his journey coming back. The stuff is absolutely electric. If any indication of what has transpired in the past with him, he is a phenomenal, hard-throwing lefty out of the bullpen, and seeing him pitch a scoreless inning on Sunday, so good to see for Robinson Ortiz.
See that right there? Look at that pitch come out of his hand to a lefty. I mean, that's literally behind a left-hander. Now, watch how this left-hander reacts to that. It's like you pull off, and you're like, you don't know what to do with it. That is a tough pitch. So, hey, wanted to cover Robinson Ortiz and get to him and talk about, hey, this is a guy that's very talented, getting his way back into the system. So now let's move up to your level here, Austin, and let's talk about the Great Lakes Loons. And if you're going to do that, you got to start with Jackson Ferris, who had a really, really good outing the other day. His breaking ball was huge.
Yeah, his breaking ball was absolutely phenomenal. Just his pitch ability is just growing and growing. His finding ways to get hitters out, especially his 2 starts that he had in Wisconsin, were just absolutely phenomenal. I wasn't there at this game, but I was there at the first game that he had, and he just seems to be getting better and better and better as he goes along. He's got the big looping curveball that he has. He has the fastball that will sneak right by you and pairs that with a whole variety of different pitches. Jackson Ferris, there's a reason why the Dodgers traded for him and traded Michael Busch for a Jackson Ferris, because he's going out there and performing, and he's a great left-handed pitcher that is just finding more and more of his groove as he goes along in this high A level that he's getting accustomed to.
100%. I was very impressed with his outing. Let's keep moving on the pitching. I know we talked about this guy the other day, but I wanted to talk about him again. Again, we'll cover guys as many times as we need to when they are impressive. Look at that slider. He actually worked on that slider in the offseason with his dad. Chris Campos has been one of the better pitchers. By the way, backing up Jackson Ferris, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, 6 Ks, no walks in his last outing. He has 29 strikeouts in his last 23 innings. So Jackson Ferris has been absolutely dominant, but so has Chris Campos. Chris Campos has been just simply great. ERA is 0.75 on the year, and his last outing, 3 innings pitched on Sunday, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, no walks, and he moved to 2-0. So Chris Campos continues to impress.
Chris Campos has been an absolute force since he's been up with the Great Lakes at the high A level throughout the course of this season. And the underlying metrics, not just with the ERA of 0.75, every single indication is there that Chris Campos is out there dominating. You just watch his performances that he's had, his 4 outings in Great Lakes. Every single one, he's been consistently great, consistently excellent. He's has 15 strikeouts in the 12 innings that he's pitched in. He's missing barrels. He's not giving up a whole lot of contact. And even when he is, he's not giving up a whole lot of hits. Runners aren't scoring on him. He's only allowed 2 walks in his 12 innings. Chris Campos is going out there and just been an absolute force for this Great Lakes Loons pitching staff, being that bulk inning piggyback type starter paired up with Jackson Ferris during this outing right here. Chris Campos, when he comes into the game, things get settled down and the Loons have a great chance to win, which is exactly what happened on Sunday.
100%. Another guy we've talked about a lot, but we're going to continue talking about him because he deserves it, because he has just been simply ridiculous. Alex Freeland, how about he's hitting 346, OPS 1111. He has 21 RBIs, 5 stolen bases. That's a part of his game that is very sneaky. This guy steals a lot of bases to go with his power, and he scored 18 runs. Alex Freeland's ridiculous right now, right?
Oh, he's absolutely ridiculous, which first off, got to give congratulations to Alex Freeland, who just today was promoted to AA Tulsa, and that is
really?
1,000% deserved. Absolutely. Yeah, both Alex Freeland and Christian Suarez both promoted to AA Tulsa today. And so absolutely congratulations to Alex Freeland. His numbers through the course of this season are absolutely ridiculous. And I'm going to provide you with some context with this because I spent a lot of time researching and did an article on Austin Gauthier and his performance that he had in 2023. And I want to provide you a little bit of a comparison between Austin Gauthier, what he did in 2023 to this point of the season through the first 110 or so at bats, and what Alex Freeland has done through this point of the season in the first 110 or so at bats at the high A level. So in 2023, Austin Gauthier, 218 WRC plus with an 18.7 walk percentage, strikeout percentage less than 18%, had an ISO .179, hitting 429, 533, 607. Now let's look at what Alex Freeland has done. He has a 208 WRC plus with a 24.5 walk percentage, a strikeout percentage less than 15%, meaning his walk percentage is 10% better than his strikeout percentage, which is nuts. That never happens. He's hitting an ISO of 247, 346 average, 518 on base percentage, 593 slugging. And another comparison that I think, or something that I think is unique, interesting, during his time to this point in Great Lakes, Austin Gauthier had a 523 batting average on balls in play. Alex Freeland has a 413, which that just indicated perhaps there is a little bit of regression with Austin Gauthier. Alex Freeland has a little bit less regression, and with his strikeout percentage and walk percentages being even better than the great Austin Gauthier of last season, he has been so electric, so great for this Great Lakes Loons team, playing shortstop, playing third base, playing a little bit of second base as well. Every single time that he comes up to the plate, opposing pitchers did not want to face him because every time they gave him something to hit, you saw that he would go gap to gap. He would hit it down the line. He hit a couple of home runs out. We're starting to see the true potential of Alex Freeland and the work ethic that he has, which is beyond top scale. He has worked his entire career to get to a point where he's playing at this type of level. And if we see the plate discipline that he has showed at Great Lakes, where he's walking more than he strikes out, and he's striking out less than 15% of the time, which has not been a norm throughout his minor league career to this point. If these trends continue, we talk a lot about how good of a player Austin Gauthier is and how much he projects to the next level. We could be talking about Alex Freeland being in the exact same level of category, except I would say Alex Freeland very much a pure shortstop with a little bit of versatility. Yeah. Both guys are incredibly valuable, and we're just starting to see the potential of Alex Freeland. I fully expect him to continue this, or at least continue at least to a degree of how good he has been as he makes the next step to AA Tulsa. Congratulations, Alex Freeland. You just made the jump to AA Tulsa. The road is just getting started for you.
100%. And it's kind of interesting. We're going to move to Madison Jeffrey here that you're seeing. You've got to see that lightning bolt of a right arm of his. Interesting that you compare him to Austin Gauthier. You know why he's getting moved up to AA? That's because Austin Gauthier just got promoted to AAA, which opened up that shortstop spot. So there is a link to those two all the way around. So congratulations, Alex Freeland and Austin Gauthier. Going to get to see Austin in Oklahoma City now. Hey, this is Madison Jeffrey, a guy that has maybe the biggest stuff of any reliever in the system. That's not an exaggeration. He's gone over 100 several different times. His slider is just absolutely insanely dirty. Not in the strike zone all the time, though. Hey, this is a guy, point blank, I mean, you got to be transparent. You say, well, if a guy can throw over 100 and he has that kind of slider, why is he just now in Great Lakes? He went to West Virginia, and I think he was like 24, 25 years old still. It's because he hasn't thrown enough strikes. I mean, he'd be the first one to tell you, see that slider there? Got to get the ball in the strike zone and then got to be consistent with it. I think Madison Jeffrey is showing signs that he's starting to do that, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the most recent outing. I believe that was on Saturday against Wisconsin, where he went out there and had a scoreless appearance for him. MJ, Madison Jeffrey, if he can keep it in the strike zone, the stuff is so electric. And I think working with a lot of these pitching coaches are going to be able to help him try to get that into the strike zone a little bit more and use the stuff, the great stuff, some of the best stuff within this system that he has to his advantage. You can see MJ, Madison Jeffrey just go out there and explode as a pitcher. So the results aren't quite there quite yet because of the issues with command. But if he gets that resolved, watch out, because you have absolutely something with the dominant electric stuff that Madison Jeffrey has.
100%. Hey, let's move up to the AA level. And TY, Taylor Young, it was a packed crowd on Saturday night. It was you can see right here at One Oak. It was absolutely electric. And, hey, every time you have a big environment like that, you know Taylor Young's going to show up. He loves the big moment. And he also got the base hit to tie the game in the late innings. This is a guy, TY. I love this guy. He's a goofball, isn't he? He's fun to have on your team. There is the game-tying hit. You can see it's 5-4. The bigger the lights are, the more that he likes to play. All-time hits leader in Louisiana Tech, and I can tell you every time I post about him, all of the Louisiana Tech Bulldog people, they go nuts because he is their number one son. They love this guy, and for great reason. Taylor Young.
Oh, for great reason. And as you mentioned, he shows up in the biggest moments and like those atmospheres the best. And you can see the electricity that he plays with the hustle, with the heart.
He's safe, by the way. He's safe. Did you see that? He's safe.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have known unless he made that indication that he was safe. He plays such a great brand of baseball, playing that gritty toughness, that character that he plays with, the communication that he has with his teammates, the hustle. We know about the stolen bases, which absolutely are there for TY Taylor Young, but having a little bit of that extra base hit that he has, even if he has to stretch it out to a double, he's absolutely going to do it, and he's going to give it every single thing that he's got. And even in those big moments, he's going to show up and he's going to perform. And we have been seeing that for TY, and to have that support system behind him as well. TY, we talk about him quite a bit because he absolutely deserves it, and he is a great player, a guy that you want to have on your team.
Yeah, he's the guy. Yeah, you want to have him on your team. If he's on the other team, you're like, man, I hate that sucker, because he's always like 4 for 4, and he just kind of gets under your skin, right? And he frustrates you. But then when he's on your team, man, he's like the dog, right? Okay, so hey, let's move on to the Maytag. Just released a launch angle on him on Sunday. Hey, I want to thank everybody for watching that. I really love it whenever those videos are successful, because I love highlighting these young guys that need great highlighting. How about that curveball for Jack Dreyer? He said that he feels like he can sit 95, 96. Well, he's hitting 96. He's not sitting there right now, but he's getting up. This is a guy that in 2018, I got to see him shove against OSU at Iowa, and then he had shoulder problems, had to miss almost all of 2019, then COVID hit. Then he had Tommy John in 2021, so he went undrafted out of college at Iowa. The Dodgers signed him. He decides to go to the Dodgers because he's very analytical. He knows how well the developmental system is with the Dodgers. And he got off the leash last year. Last year was the first time he got to pitch almost at all since 2018 in college. And, man, did he burst onto the scene with that big curveball and extreme competitive nature. I know he's one of your favorites, the Maytag Jack Dreyer.
Oh, yeah. He pitches in a lot of the big moments. He's one of the greatest relief pitchers in Great Lakes Loons history. He's an absolute steal for this Dodgers. It's been a long journey for him to come back, but now that he is back, he is absolutely going out there, performing, shoving at every single level, and it's just continuing at the AA level. The results are absolutely there for him. He hasn't given up an earned run this entire season. The FIP and the XFIP are less than 2. His strikeout percentage is almost 38%, with a walk percentage less than 6%. So meaning that he has a strikeout minus walk percentage of 32%. Absolutely ridiculous for the type of pitcher that he is, which is he's going to go out there and strike you out. And for a system that likes those type of pitchers, likes the competitive nature, likes the analytical, the smart-minded, you couldn't find a better fit for the Dodgers than Jack Dreyer, because that describes exactly who he is. And if this success continues, which there's no reason to doubt that it will, he's going to continue to rise in this system. He is so good, so clutch, so elite at what he does. And he's so incredibly smart that he's going to be able to adapt to whatever comes his way.
100%. Let's move up to the AAA level. This is Landon Knack. And again, this is why we always talk about, hey, that bump up to the major leagues, like with Blake Treinen and or with Walker Buehler, somebody like that. Hey, you see here, this is a Sunday afternoon, 3,500 people in the stands. That's a little bit different than being in front of however many show up for a Los Angeles Dodgers game. So really one of the biggest aspects, and I asked Ryan Pepio on one of my interviews with him after his major league debut, hey, what's it like after he made his major league debut, his next outing was in Sugar Land in front of like 2,500 people, right? Like, hey, what's it like? Is it just, do you have to generate your own energy? He's like, no, man, it's another game, right? When you're professional, you just view it like that. That's what Landon Knack did, went out and pitched really, really well for AAA Oklahoma City the other day.
Yeah, that's great to see. I know Landon Knack went up there, performed great for the Dodgers, and that was great. That was excellent to see. I'm glad to see him continue to have that mindset, continue to have that ability that no matter what comes your way, he's going to be out there and he's going to be able to perform, pitching against the Salt Lake Bees the other day. So it's good to see him continue to have this success. I think this is going to continue, and if this does continue, he's going to get plenty of more opportunities at the major league level, which is something that he absolutely deserves. And the Dodgers did take notice of what he was able to do during that outings. And even though they had Walker Buehler come back, not only did the Dodgers take notice, other organizations took notice. And Landon Knack just continues to impress, continues to improve. And with all of the different stuff that's going on with Landon Knack, it's great to see him have all of this success for him, and he is a great pitcher within this organization, and he's going to get plenty of more opportunities.
100%. Hey, let's stay on the pitching side. This is Big Mike. They call him Big Mike. Michael Petersen. This is a guy that was born in Great Britain, so he actually threw in the World Baseball Classic in 2023 for Great Britain because he was born there. But when he was 1 year old, he moved to California. And this is a guy that has reached as high as 99 this year. Another power arm and a big dude. You just saw that slider. Yeah, that pitch right there is probably 97, 98, might be as high as 99. He has reached that high. So, hey, yesterday it was his 13th scoreless outing out of 14. By the way, this is a challenge system, and it was actually overturned right there. It took exactly 13 seconds to overturn that call. This is the system that the Major League Baseball needs to adopt right there. But Michael Petersen, another power arm in the system for the Dodgers. I wanted to make sure you knew about him. A guy, again, from Great Britain that has reached as high as 99. Let's go to our next guy right here, and this is Ryan Ward. Old Wardo. Man, when he gets a hold of one, he hits it like that. This dude has one of the best hit tools of any young hitter in the game. I say it all the time. His hit tool is every bit the equal to Andy Pages. Now, he doesn't have the big right arm like Andy Pages does. He can't play center field necessarily like Andy Pages can, but the hit tool is there. By the way, he was the PCL Player of the Week last week, so congratulations to Wardo.
Absolutely, congratulations to him. He's a really good hitter, and I think he often gets overlooked with the level of talent that is in the system with some guys like Andy Pages. I think we forget especially about the power that Wardo has. 12 home runs, no biggie. ISO of 413, not that big of a deal. Ryan Ward is a great hitter, and he is a powerful hitter when he is able to connect. Ryan Ward, great hitter. Hit tool absolutely is there for him. Don't forget about Wardo, Ryan Ward, and especially with him being one step away from the major leagues,
Yep.
He is really good hitter, a lot of power in this bat for Ryan Ward. And you want to see every single one of these guys in this system do well. Ryan Ward is going out there and performing really, really well to start this season.
Last guy we want to talk about today, Miguel Vargas. This is why right here, he is hitting for some power. Now, it's a little bit different than his first time through AAA. His first time through is more, 3 hits out of every 10 at-bats. He was a bat-to-ball type of guy. He has added power. He has added some slug, and it hasn't necessarily taken away too much from his batting average. So I think Miguel Vargas has made the adjustments, and I think he's knocking on the major league door again if there's an injury or an opening.
Absolutely. And his performance that he's had at the AAA level to start the season is really, really solid. Has a 142 WRC plus, striking out 17.5% of the time, or walking 17.5% of the time, striking out less than 19%. He's hitting for some power. He has 7 home runs this season, has 8 stolen bases, still hitting 283. Miguel Vargas is going out there and he's performing, which is great to see because we know about the talent that he has. Miguel Vargas has always had these skills, has always had this talent level inside of him. He's getting a lot of experience. He's getting a lot of run time in left field during the course of this Oklahoma City Baseball Club schedule. And he's going out there and performing, which if Miguel Vargas can get anywhere back to the level of prospect that we know he can be, he's just going to provide so much value for this Dodgers, for their system, whether that be using Miguel Vargas in the outfield, looking ahead to 2025 when there might be an opening in the outfield, or whether they use him as a trade piece.
All right, Austin, appreciate you joining. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, it's been a whole lot of fun. Dodgers baseball, you got to love it.